She mentioned she didn't want a prenuptial agreement. If you truly care for me, you'd have faith in me. I replied that she was spot on. After that, I liquidated all my holdings and transferred them into an overseas trust. The explanation from my lawyer shifted her perspective dramatically. Original post. I, a 38-year-old guy, am typing this from a motel, observing my whole world unraveling right before my eyes. About 3 months back, I was organizing my nuptials. These days, I'm figuring out my escape plan. I encountered Jessica, 33, around 2 years prior at a fundraising event. She was stunning, charismatic, employed in drug marketing, earning a solid income, owning a sleek BMW, appearing to have everything sorted. We connected right away. I ought to note that I divested my software firm 5 years earlier. Not billionaire-level wealth, but sufficient to step away from work if I kept things low-key. Roughly $4.2 million post-taxes. I continued as an advisor, resided in an ordinary residence, operated a Tesla, but avoided extravagance. Few folks were aware of the deal. Jessica learned about it. I shared it with her after half a year as our bond deepened. She handled it gracefully, mentioning relief that I wasn't pursuing her funds. We chuckled over it, skipping ahead to 3 months prior. I popped the question she accepted, and we dove into ceremony preparations. That's when the prenup topic arose. I suggested we ought to consider a prenup, routine measure safeguarding our respective properties. Her expression altered in an instant. Jessica, a prenup? For real. If you cherished me, you wouldn't require a formal paper. It's merely sensible. You possess valuables as well. My valuables? I've got an auto installment and $30K tucked away. You possess fortunes. This concerns your lack of confidence in me. The talk intensified. She wept, phoned her mother, who rang me to declare I was shattering her child's spirit with my avarice. Contacted her circle, who bombarded me with messages about how genuine affection avoids paperwork. Then Jessica delivered the ultimatum. Should you compel me to ink a prenup, I'll realize your affection was never authentic. I'll cancel the ceremony. I gazed at her face streaked with tears and reached a conclusion. You make a valid point, I stated. If my feelings are real, I ought to rely on you without reservations. She embraced me, dubbed me her perfect match, shared on platforms about opting for romance over attorneys. That evening, as she reveled with beverages and selected floral arrangements, I contacted my lawyer. I require selling off all assets and establishing an offshore trust right away. Update 1. My lawyer, whom I'll name Robert, figured I was cracking under pressure. What do you intend? Offload everything, the property, the securities, the whole lot. Place it in an unchangeable offshore trust. That's drastic and costly. You'll face steep tax consequences. What's the remaining sum? Following fines and levies, perhaps $2.8 million. Proceed anyway. Here's a misconception many hold regarding offshore trusts. When properly arranged, they're fully lawful, yet essentially inaccessible during separations. The crucial term is unchangeable. After transfer, not even I can reclaim it casually. I'd serve as a recipient of my own setup, drawing a reasonable monthly allowance. In the ensuing 6 weeks, while Jessica selected bridal attire, I methodically disassembled my fiscal foundation. Disposed of the residence to a quick purchase buyer, informed Jessica I was simplifying for our sake. Converted all equities and obligations to cash, withdrew from my retirement fund, enormous fines yet justified. Even traded the Tesla for a pre-owned Honda. Jessica was delighted by the property transaction. We can acquire our ideal abode jointly. Precisely, I concurred, aware the proceeds were en route to the trust in the Cook Islands. The arrangement disbursed $4,000 monthly to me, adequate for sustenance, insufficient for Jessica's visions of opulence. She spotted the Honda. Jessica, what became of the Tesla? Opted for sensibility, conserving for our tomorrow. Jessica, you're incredibly prudent. That's precisely why I adore you. 2 weeks prior to the ceremony, all was secured, my apparent wealth. Roughly $40,000 in a deposit account and the Honda. Then I engaged in something spiteful, perhaps harsh, but essential to gauge. Darling, I remarked during supper, I've reflected on your view regarding reliance. You're correct. We should enter this union as total partners. What do you imply? I proposed including you on my banking details immediately, pre-ceremony, demonstrating my faith. Her gaze sparkled. Truly? Truly. Moreover, why delay? Let's visit the institution tomorrow. She buzzed with thrill, alerted her mother at once. He's incorporating me into all accounts. Observe, I assured you he'd soften. Update 2, the subsequent morning at the financial center proved revealing. We conferred with the officer. Jessica appeared polished, luxury handbag, recent nail treatment, fully prepared. Officer, so you wish to designate Jessica as a co-owner on the accounts? Affirmative, everyone. The officer displayed my ledgers. Current funds, $40,000. Reserve funds, $0. Jessica's grin wavered. Where's? What regarding your holdings? Oh, I reallocated matters, spread out risks. The bulk is committed presently. Committed how? Various placements, chiefly deferred compensation. Inaccessible for years. Her countenance cycled through sentiments rapidly. Bewilderment, letdown, irritation, reverting to feigned cheer. Yet the residence proceeds. Allocated to a deferred setup. Will enjoy solid assurance at retirement age. She stepped out to the restroom. I overheard her conversing with her mother via the flimsy partitions. No, zilch. He claims it's all deferred. Unclear. Perhaps he relocated it elsewhere. Upon return, she beamed anew. Well, $40K forms a solid foundation for us. That night, her attitude transformed entirely. Abruptly, ceremony coordination overwhelmed her. She proposed delaying. Then inquiries surfaced. I've pondered economics, she noted. Perhaps a prenup would clarify matters, but you asserted affection bypasses formalities. True, yet I desire full visibility into our fiscal landscape. Any additional ledgers, perhaps overseas? There it emerged. Why possess overseas ledgers? That resembles fiction. She grew agitated. Cease feigning ignorance. I recognize you stashed funds. I believed you weren't pursuing me for wealth. I'm not, but I deserve insight into my prospective spouse's economic status. You possess insight. I revealed all at the center. She rose, enraged. This is nonsense. What occurred with the fortunes? I assumed you claimed indifference to the fortunes, that your affection targeted me, not my resources. Update 3. The facade didn't merely erode, it shattered utterly. And how Jessica erupted explosively. Phoned Robert. She'd obtained his contact somehow, insisting on locating where I'd concealed her fortune. Robert, commendably, remained composed. I cannot disclose client fiscal details absent authorization. I'm his betrothed, and sans legal proxy or his direct consent, I cannot divulge. She terminated the call and dialed me, yelling, "You deem yourself clever. I'll pursue litigation for deception. Concealing resources pre-union is unlawful. We're unmarried currently. I may manage my resources freely. I resigned my position for you. You departed employment a fortnight past, unprompted by me." That's when she unveiled her supposed trump. I'm expecting. I chuckled outright. Jessica, I underwent sterilization 5 years prior. Attempt another tactic. Quiet. Reversals exist. You might have undone it. I refrained. Farewell. I restricted her contact and secured a motel stay. The following dawn brought 67 overlooked calls from diverse lines. Her mother, sibling, acquaintances, even her former partner cautioning she'd pursue all I held. Then arrived the counsel, not Robert. Her counsel, a litigator focused on female economic equity. He contacted me personally. Directly a blunder. Robert ought to have been intermediary. "Mr. Thompson, your intended is ready to initiate claims for economic mistreatment and deceit." Based on what? You intentionally falsified your economic state to lure her into commitment. I muted the device, overcome by laughter. She's the refuser of prenups. I hold messages where she states indifference to my wealth. Those lack proper framing. I possess audio too. I lacked them, but he was unaware. Audio in a dual consent jurisdiction from her online shares. Clips she disseminated herself discussing how funds are irrelevant in sincere bonds. Shall I forward to you or the tribunal? He disconnected. Update 4, a week elapsed. No contact, I assumed resolution. Then Robert rang. Visit my premises urgently. Upon arrival, a hefty dossier rested on his surface. She's initiated a civil action. Violation of commitment, deliberate causation of mental anguish, and innovatively, economic household mistreatment. Economic household mistreatment. She alleges you deliberately depleted yourself to withhold spousal resources she merited. We remained unwed. Thus my term, inventive, not astute. The claim sought $2.1 million, precisely moiety of her perceived holdings. Now the intriguing aspect, Robert proceeded. Examination flows mutually. We access her economics too. And Robert grinned. Recall that BMW? Rented. Her drug marketing role. Terminated 8 months earlier for cost fabrication. She subsisted via plastic and familial support. The $30K reserve? Actually $30K owed. Thus she pursued me deliberately. It improves. We uncovered correspondence betwixt her and her sibling scheming, verbatim, Operation Goldman. They probed your valuation, your venture divestment, all. A full table projecting her divorce yield across durations. I examined the messages. 2 years alongside someone enacting a part. Our course, retaliatory action. Deceit, deliberate mental anguish, slander via her online declarations about you. Yet she lacks resources, thus no recovery for me. Negative nor for her. And herein your trust shines elegantly. He clarified the trust's unchangeable nature, predating union intentions, rendered it wholly detached legally. I couldn't retrieve it even desirously, save monthly allotments. And if inaccessible to me, equally to her. The arbiter will perceive you as an individual subsisting on $4,000 monthly with a Honda Civic. That's her sole viable pursuit. Update 5. Proceedings occurred last week. Jessica appeared in upscale attire likely exceeding my trust stipend. Her litigator contended I'd perpetrated economic deceit. The arbiter, a seasoned female seeming versed in all, remained unmoved. Arbiter, Miss Mitchell, did Mr. Thompson coerce your prenup refusal? He influenced me. In what manner? He convinced me of his reliance. Thus he endorsed your stance that romance eschews documents. Jessica's litigator attempted interjection. The arbiter silenced him. Arbiter, I've perused the proofs. Miss Mitchell, you hold messages dismissing monetary concerns. Online shares deeming prenups unromantic. Your personal correspondence plotting divorce maximization. And you petition this tribunal for funds from a gentleman whose present ledgers show $40,000. He conceals fortunes, evidence, he divested his enterprise. 5 years past, proof of present concealed resources. Her litigator referenced the trust. The arbiter queried Robert, exists a trust? Robert. An unchangeable offshore trust predates my client's acquaintance with Miss Mitchell. My client receives $4,000 monthly as beneficiary, not proprietor. He cannot escalate or withdraw sums even personally. Thus awarding Miss Mitchell from this trust, juridically unfeasible, Your Honor. Trustees in Cook Islands administer, akin to parental endowment. The arbiter's verdict was prompt. Jessica's action rejected permanently. Our retaliation. She must remit $50,000 for slander and deceit. Jessica shrieked audibly in chambers. He is indebted to me. I squandered 2 years. Miss Mitchell, you squandered your duration executing an apparent fiscal scheme. Consider fortune I'm not escalating to prosecutorial review for penal deceit. Jessica's mother arose from observers. This constitutes inequity. He's secreting resources. The arbiter ejected her. Final update 1 month post-chambers. Jessica's messaged via alternates. Initially, suicide threats. I summoned emergency services for assessment. Then claiming genuine expectancy via another, seeking my assumption. Then proposing reconciliation if I distribute my share. Her $50,000 award. She declared insolvency promptly. Her mother appeared at my motel, weeping over how I devastated her offspring's existence. Your offspring attempted appropriating millions from me. She cherished you. She cherished my ledger. Distinction exists. The prior partner she deceived learned via examination, contacted me. Evidently she'd replicated on him, scaled down. He practiced medicine. She persuaded house co-ownership, then compelled divestiture in split. He scarcely retained it. You're wiser than I, he noted. I succumbed utterly. Regarding me, I'm faring well. Existing frugally on $4,000 monthly. Oddly liberating, unburdened by fiscal frets. The trust manages all. Indeed, I forfeited $1.4 million in levies and fines, safeguarding the balance. Yet you realize? Valued each cent. Witnessing Jessica's visage as the arbiter detailed her entitlement to moiety of my $40,000 wealth. Invaluable. My lawyer Robert indicates larger trust withdrawals feasible in roughly 5 years. Post-settlement, absent claim hazards. Jessica's recent message yesterday, you're a manipulator. You orchestrated entirely. I replied singly. You rejected prenup. I merely concurred. Romance bypasses documents. It likewise bypasses schemers, restricted anew. Reflecting, warnings abounded. Her precise knowledge of my venture valuation, non-public. Her advocacy for shared economics, yet reluctance merging ledgers till presuming millions therein. Her drug marketing role seemingly effortless, but paramount warning. When one asserts prenup requests signal unloving, they prioritize your resources over your serenity. To readers in analogous predicaments, heed intuition. If affection is true, they'll comprehend mutual safeguarding. Should they decline, well, juridical safeguards exist. Perhaps avoid my extremity. The trust proved pricey and intricate. Yet, beholding Jessica grasp her self-sabotage, that justified every levy penny. She sought proof of my affection via prenup waiver. I demonstrated her affection's absence by compliance. Appreciate perusal. Off to relish my Honda and Liberty presently.